Sophia wants to play Fortnite and Benjamin's not allowing her, correct?
Right.
Generally, Daniela, what would you do in that situation? Most parents, what they would do in that situation is they would go over to Sophia and Benjamin and they would say, Sophia, you're not allowed to punch Benjamin, and it's not okay. Stop it, right? That would be a normal reaction, I think, right? Because as parents, we don't want to see our kids hurting each other. Let's look at that for a minute. What happens when we as a parent go over to our children and say to the child, Sophia in this case, who punched Benjamin, stop that, don't do that, you're not allowed to hurt Benjamin. Seems like a reasonable response, don't you think, Danielle? Tammy, great. So I think at that moment, let's look at it from each child's perspective. So Sophia at that moment is feeling what? What is Sophia feeling? More likely than not, she's feeling like mommy just took Benjamin's side, which understandably, mommy did, because she just punched her brother, right? What is Benjamin feeling at that moment? Which is kind of interesting because it's a reversal of the ages. He's the older one. He's feeling like, okay, good. Mommy came in, she took care of it, right? And if I'm in trouble or things aren't going well for me or I get punched, mom's going to come or somebody's going to come and rescue me, which, you know, I hear that, I see that. But as soon as we as parents take one of our children's sides, inadvertently, we are breeding in Sophia this sense of what? She's angry at her brother. Now, of course, she shouldn't be punching him when she's angry, but she's angry at her brother because she wants to play Fortnite and he's not letting her. Isn't that what happened, right? Mm-hmm. And so she's feeling angry, rightfully so, because, you know, she wants to play it. Is it okay for her to punch him when she's angry? Of course not. But when a parent comes in and then says, you're not allowed to do that in that way and take sides, as soon as that happens, what happens? Sophia feels like, you know, mom just took his side. Boy, am I ever going to get back at him? Am I ever going to get back at him? That is not okay. Her anger towards Benjamin now has escalated, right? Now, the question is, how do we address that and still at the same time set limits with our kids? Because obviously we can't let them punch each other, right? So I would say the first step in sibling rivalry is when you go into that situation, being able to make that house rule of we don't punch each other equally applicable to both children. So even though at that moment Benjamin didn't punch Sophia, I would go over to them together and say, Benjamin, Sophia, there's no punching in this house. We don't punch each other. Sophia, you can be angry at Benjamin, but you can't punch him. And then Benjamin will probably say something like, but I didn't touch her. I didn't touch her. Why are you telling me I'm not supposed to punch her? I didn't even touch her. And then at that moment, you need to be able to look at Benjamin and say, yeah, you're right. And you know what? If I were you, I'd be really annoyed or angry at Sophia for punching me. And you need to tell her that's not okay. And then Sophia will say something like, well, he didn't let me play Fortnite. And that's your opportunity as a parent, again, when you can. And again, these are things that you will not be able to do all the time. And I'm not suggesting that this is easy to do. It's really hard to do. But I think if you want to quiet the sibling rivalry in your home, this is a good way to begin to quiet it. And then you look at Sophia and you say, you know, Sophia, if you wanted to play Fortnite and your brother's not letting you, I would find that annoying too. Maybe you need to talk to him about that and tell him. You know, so basically what you're doing is you're building skills, you're helping them communicate, and you're not taking sides. That's kind of a quick, or maybe not such a quick, but you know, some of the tools that you want to keep, the skills that you want to keep in mind as a parent when you walk in there, because in the moment you could get that resolved way quicker by just coming in and saying, let her play, or, you know, and don't hit, and you're done, and that's it. And sometimes you'll need to do that, but it's also important to have that awareness that when you do that, it might be a quick fix, but in the long run, inadvertently, as a parent, you will be breeding rivalry between your kids.